Hello, my name is Andrea. I'm from Romania. I was born on the 13th of December 1997. That makes me 23, and I'm glad to be here. Alright, so I've recently gotten into cinematography, and I've gotten in the role of first AD, which is the right hand of the director, which means that I was in charge basically with coordinating the whole team, with planning the schedule of the shooting, coordinating the actors, discussing with the director, and actually making sure that everything goes smoothly and as efficient as it can get. Alright, so wow, that's a long story. Basically my whole story until now. So my desire to get into cinematography and actually be part of this filming world, I think it bloomed when I was very young, when I was in high school. It actually stems from my love for acting, because when I was little, I think even in kindergarten I started acting, but you know, like all kids. And then I found love for theater in high school. And then I was really sure that I wanted to move forward and actually study acting. But then, being that I was never very sociable, I was rather an introvert child growing up, and I spent a lot of time inwards, reading and being on my own. I think I've learned to be alone a lot. I just figured that being that I'm not so open and sometimes I get tired in socializing circumstances, I would have loved to be the master of the show, behind the curtains, the one that doesn't show himself or herself. And then it was, wow, I could be a director. And then life happened, and I think self-doubt came in the way, and the fact that in Romania at the time when I was growing up, there weren't many female figures. Basically, my whole family was against my wish to pursue further education in arts. So because of that, I made a compromise and I studied foreign languages instead. So how I got to work in cinematography was that a very good friend of mine introduced me to a young woman director, and she graciously allowed me to be her shadow for a few months. And then she actually allowed me to participate in her film, Amid Waters. Then there was another opportunity that came along. Basically, I got another kind of opportunity to work with this film school with children, and I've also fulfilled the role of first AD there, with coordinating the team and the kids. Well, I think I've missed role models when I was young, because right now, being new in the industry, it feels kind of overwhelming. In some way, I feel a frustration that I didn't start earlier, and I think I would have done that if I have had women as role models in this industry that would come forth and say that you could be in this industry as you are. You don't have to be manly or mean, or I don't know, some kind of strong character. But now I have found through the very that actually included me in this industry. But I think that a current challenge that may appear in women that work in this industry is their kind of boundaries. They have to set their boundaries in connection to men, because I think there is quite a potent difference between the power on set and the respect and how it's distributed. For example, I know that a lot of other women that were on set were rather shy in giving directions, because I don't think I think it might be also projecting from the women, but I also think it's the kind of attitude of the male figures that are not necessarily that they do it consciously, but if they see you like your little girl, like myself, small and so on, they might not take you very seriously. But in the end, I think that we could resolve this problem only by having more women and having them get used to having women around and actually get directions from women and work as a team. And I'm not sure if I proved myself enough. I think I have to bring results to know if I'm gonna face discrimination or it's just the work that I do that is not meeting the standards or something. Because I cannot take advantage of, I'm a woman, so you should give me a privilege. No, I don't think it works like that. But what I can say is that I have had instances in which I've gotten unsolicited attention from men that were higher up in the industry, and not in a assaulting kind of. It wasn't assault. It wasn't inappropriate-ish, but I think it posed the question of, am I willing to compromise some things of my womanhood to climb the ladder? I think it was pretty clear that there was kind of an easier path because of that. It was kind of implied, I don't know, it was very weird. So first of all, I think it's very important for the women in this industry to trust themselves. Have this relentless faith in their powers and in their powers to strive, to have an open mind and acknowledge that you're a beginner, if you are, or that there are some things that you don't know or you don't know how to coordinate as well as others did. I was really pleasantly surprised by the openness and the warmth of the people around me that knew that I didn't know, and I asked and they told me and I've learned, and from then on we could talk on the same level. We had the same vocabulary, we could communicate, and I think it's very important to let young girls know, or anyone, young men, young boys, anyone you want to inspire, that it's okay not to know. Yes, I've actually was pleasantly surprised to find that there are several institutions that support women in cinematography, and I'm very honored and glad that this happens in my country and that I actually got the chance to get in touch with them. So my advice for any young women who wish to follow this path of cinematography, even if they are from different walks of life, I think the most important thing is to know that you should start before you're ready. And that's not my own personal piece of advice. It's something that I stole from something on the internet, but I think it resonated with me on this level, because there are times now when I feel a bit overwhelmed by the amount of the information that I have to assimilate. okay, I do not know, I'm not with you in this cinematography or the industry, I didn't go through superior education on this, but I really want to do it and I really want to learn, and that's where you start with I really want to learn, because if you want to learn, you can learn anything, and it's gonna be a bit harder for you at the beginning, but that shouldn't scare you away. And you are needed in this world as much as anybody else.